Good evening, my trues, clues aficionados. I hope you all are doing well out there today, taking care of yourself, staying hydrated, doing everything you got to do to be a healthy person. And that if you're seeing something, that you're willing to step up and say something as well. Somebody's life could definitely depend on it. So let's get into it. The game is afoot here. I do want to talk about a case that has just recently to be decided or to have been decided to proceed as an adult in this case, because there was a 17-year-old girl involved and a 33-year-old boyfriend. And this certainly does go back to some things in my mind way back in the day, like in the 1950s or so. There was a man who broke into a couple's house and they had a daughter, and this daughter ended up running off with the man who broke into the house, and they ended up, before they left, expiring her parents. Then they jumped in the car and they took off, and they were just on this spree, just having a good time. And eventually the cops catch up with them. She turned herself in, and I'm telling you, this is real life. She claimed to have been held captive that whole time, which there was, a tete-a-tete and a liaison going on between the two of them. Even though there was this big age difference, there was some kind of attraction there. And then there was that one movie that came out with Willie Harrelson and Juliette Lewis, and you know what kind of crazy couple that was. And throughout time, there has just been this attraction, I guess, between crazy people being attracted to each other and condoning whatever crazy thoughts the other ones are having. Like that one couple, I believe it was either in Ireland or the UK, they got together, they were offing young kids and taking pictures of the burial sites, had a little dog, and she was out there, and it turned out to be one of the burial sites of the young people that they had expired. So there's, I think, always going to be this type of thing, like when it clicks for you and you're feeling like, oh, yeah, this is like fitting in for me. And if you're a crazy person and you agree on all this craziness, I guess that's how it happens. So, Caitlin Coons allegedly bludgeoned Nicole Jones with a rock before fleeing to Mexico with her 33-year-old boyfriend. Authorities say the body of the 53-year-old Nicole Jones was wrapped in a tarp and hidden in a dumpster that was taken across state lines, to which it has not been recovered that I could find. Caitlin had also told Jonathan that they needed to do something about his mother because she was preventing them from being together. She gave him 5 hours to do something about her. And at one point in the interview, she even mentioned expiring her. Sylvania Township Police Department Detective Jason Albright told the news. And apparently, Jonathan and her had been having a little tete-a-tete for a long time. Jonathan had been getting in trouble for messing around with girls that he shouldn't have been, in ways that he shouldn't have been, with this Caitlin young lady. And so he was, had to sign up as being an SA predator. And it was all because of her. And they found some salacious material on his cell phone, and he had no good intentions with those pictures at all whatsoever. He was doing everything he could to make money off of him, and that's because of all that situation involved in that he ended up getting in trouble and having to register as an SA predator. When Jonathan, though, I can't really blame him. He couldn't go through and off his mother. Coons decided to offer himself. So then she proceeds to enact her plan. She goes outside, she grabs a rock, And Jonathan allegedly was sitting in the living room, probably sitting there watching TV or something, trying to act like it's not going on, because he certainly isn't going to step up and stop her after everything that he put her through. And I'm pretty sure she made sure he probably knew that. So then he allegedly helped to dispose of his mother by throwing her into a dumpster at an apartment complex, and that's probably why she's never been recovered. He was allegedly, like, hey, it's okay, I can't do it, but if you do it, it's fine. And like, that's your mom. That's your mom. What do you mean, like, it's all okay? But, you got this twisted relationship going, just like that young girl back in the day. The parents were off and she still took off with that guy. And maybe he cared enough about her to let her go that route and not defend himself. Jonathan, you know, I don't know what twisted thing was going on between the two of them, but they are twisted. And now he wasn't the brightest tool in the shed either, as they said. So when they got this welfare check to go check up on the mom because she hadn't been seen anywhere around, people were concerned. And also, after this happened, what's her name? Coons called the social worker and she's like, something bad happened, and told her what happened. Then Coons's social worker followed up by calling law enforcement and having them go check up on her. Where they got there, there was nothing to indicate anything toward or untoward had happened at that point in time. So they start looking around. And at this point in time, they're all looking for, good old Jonathan. They're pretty sure something is up right there. So all of this is kind of like taking place and going down at one time. Jonathan reportedly failed to disarm his GPS tracking device he was wearing after his conviction in March, which helped them, of course, locate him. And guess who was with him? Coons was with him. Wood County Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan Splinter claimed Jonathan had SA with a minor at the Super 8 motel when she was 15 or 16 in the custody of Child Services, which was Cooney. Cooney was also living with them in the mom's home. So something untoward had to be going under the mom's nose there. And I guess, with all the salaciousness of the relationship, that's where I guess she was planning on pulling her ultimate control card, or whatever you want to call it, saying that, the mom isn't going to leave them to be together. So they need to do something to clarify the situation so they can be in true love and be together. Right. Because that's what we all do when we want to be with somebody that we love, right? You want to just sacrifice everything. Jonathan is also facing charges in connection with his mother's murder. He was accused previously of having SA with a minor after traveling with her halfway across the state, pleading guilty. He also pled guilty to the amended counts of endangering a child, an attempt to commit pandering involving a minor, both third-degree felonies that he got in trouble with before. And this is the same lady that he's caught with now. Charges of pandering, not good things, contributing to the unruliness or delinquency of a child, interfering with the custody, and possessing criminal tools that will be dismissed at sentencing. The traffic charge was also dismissed. Jones will have a greater, Jones, of course, as we said earlier, does have to register as an SA offender, which will require him to register every 180 days for 25 years. I guess that's out the window. You don't have to register if you're already in jail. At the time, the victim did provide a false name and birthday to the officers. Of course, she was trying to get away with whatever. They had a plan. They're not just going to go down willingly. According to court documents, the girl was at a medical facility in Columbus, and Jones picked her up and drove her to the Super 8 in Millbury. She did not have permission to leave, but you don't have permission really to kill people, do you? And that was going on as well. There were extremely salacious photos of the minor and photos of the two of them engaged in illicit activities, and they were found on Jones' phone. And he also, I guess, wanted to, have a little, what do you call it, an auction or something like that. The most money for the most information, and you get some really salacious pictures in it involved while you can. So we'll be moving forward on that one, keeping an eye out to see what happens. And I don't know. I'll be interested to see the details and how twisted these two people can really get. With that, my lovelies, I love you. Take care. I'll talk to you on the next segment.